you mentioned enabling constraints, and I think there's a distinction between enabling constraints and a different kind of constraint.
Yeah, enabling constraints and governing constraints. I mean, Alicia Gerardo is the best on this. She really gets it. So a governing constraint, if you want a really simple way, a governing constraint contains, an enabling constraint connects. Now that's not completely true, all right, but it's a good way of getting the point across. So if something is contained, you know its boundaries. And if you go into systems thinking, you'll find they all define systems as having boundaries. That's one of the ways you know you're talking with somebody from systems thinking, not complexity. In complexity, we know that connectivity matters, and systems may or may not have boundaries, but they're connected. So that's a key distinction, yeah? And their boundaries can be indeterminate. The other point is, what an enabling constraint does, sorry about the academic language here, it disturbs the equiprobability of the system. So if you don't have constraints, everything is equally probable, which means no evolution happens. So without constraints, you don't get evolution. Yeah? The issue is what type of constraints and their fluidity and a whole body of stuff around that.
Could you describe what an enabling constraint is?
Well, a good example is Wikipedia. Somebody told me I had to go in and investigate Wikipedia many years ago now, and I became an addict, all right? Wikipedia has no mechanism to adjudicate content. That's actually its great strength. It's why it succeeds and it grows. The constraints are on behavior. So if you edit war, you'll get blocked for a bit. If you carry on edit war, you'll get permanently blocked. If you use ad hominem arguments, or if you don't base your stuff on third-party reliable sources, you'll get blocked. So effectively, behavior is an enabling constraint. And what that does is it forces you to work with people you fundamentally disagree with. I mean, I monitor a lot of far-right sites in the UK and the US, and some of the creationist nonsense. But if I'm honest about it, I've got some quite good friends on the far right on Wikipedia because they play by the rules and they know how it works.